Hey everybody, Jim from Jim's Coleus. Okay, hey, you know what? I wanted to update you on all of the rootings. Now, if you've been following along, you know I keep rootings of Coleus for different reasons. To save certain ones I don't have seeds for decorations in my house, and also I love Coleus, and I really don't want to keep a lot of overwintered Coleus in my house. Anyway, as you know, if you're following along, I plant my rootings or cuttings, if you will, at the beginning, during growing season, usually the end of May, which I have. And I just wanted to show you. I had some inky fingers, if you remember, if you're following along. They were very, very leggy. They looked like trees. They had some growth up top and just nothing below. Really, really long leggings. Lord Voldemort cuttings as well, and a few others that I planted. And I just wanted to update you. They're all doing really well. I had a little problem, as you remember, in the last couple of videos with my fishnet. I left them out and it got very windy and it broke one of them, and the other one I managed to bring in the greenhouse and stake it up, and it's doing okay. I'm gonna bring it out. I'm still waiting. I want it to get a little bit stronger, but let's go take a look at all the rootings. The inky fingers are doing wonderfully. All this new growth, and especially the Lord Voldemort, all giant. Well, I don't need to talk. Let's go and take a look. Okay, I bought myself a fast-growing clementine tree. Her name is Clemmy, and it's a easy peel clementine tree. You can get different sizes. I got like the medium to large. I don't think I'm going to get fruit this year. It's a possibility, but more than likely next year. But we'll see what happens. I also bought this Bob Grant pot. Even though I have pots, I sort of liked it. It was on sale. But she's doing really well. I got a lot of new growth coming in, but no blossoms. But it's early, so. Okay, so as you can see here, here are those. There's really one rooting, Saturn, which isn't really doing that well. This is actually the only one that's not doing well, but it's not dead. So I actually just trimmed it. I had some leaves, because this one was one of the first cuttings. My experimental one that I put in earlier, and it got a wind burn and so forth, but it's still alive, so we're going to keep it there, and I'm almost certain that growth will come in. But the rest of these are really starting to fill out, and eventually it's going to look like something like this. Okay, and again, this is the famous corner pot that I keep my Coleus in, and these are the inky fingers. And as you can see now, I trimmed the very tops. I had 3 or 4 stems, branches, and once I saw all this new growth coming in on the bottom, I trimmed them, and I'm rooting those inside. So we'll have all this new growth coming in. So that's going to grow in really, really nicely. And I have some of these colors. And here is the other Lord Voldemort. This is the one that I took a lot of the cuttings off of, because I do have the growth coming in on the bottom. So it's still early. We got plenty of, once the really sustained warm weather kicks in, you get a couple of those rainstorms, boom, just like this. It won't be long till these things kick in, and it'll be a fabulous Coleus like this. And here's one of the hanging baskets that I just put outside. There's a colossal marble, that really colorful fuchsia jitters. This is that Saturn variant. So this is filling in slowly. I just trimmed it, so you can see all that growth coming in. I want to, it is it's a good height. It's going to grow a little more, but I wanted to really get it to fill out on the bottom, get the energy even throughout the plant, let it fill in really good, and then we'll start to trim top and as it goes. Same thing here. I trimmed a bunch of the larger leaves. So if you have if you're making up a hanging basket and you choose 3 plants, and one of them has really big leaves that are hanging over, and then you see a lot of undergrowth here, just for the time being, trim those big leaves. Don't worry about it. I know it sucks. Excuse me. I know it's not I know it's not pleasant to do, and you feel like you're throwing away a beautiful leaf and so forth. But trust me, just trim your Coleus early on, get it going, and believe me, you'll have so much more time to enjoy a much more fuller, healthier Coleus. It's a necessary evil, as I always say. And this is just, like I said, this is just a simple pail. The squirrel seems to have moved on. He hasn't really messed with this. These don't look the greatest, but you know what? I just leave them. I water them. I actually just fertilize them, and they will just continue. So, you know, there's not a lot of maintenance when you're starting these out. The hardest part about starting the Coleus outdoors is when to put them out. And I've covered that. You don't want to rush. You don't want to put them out too early where it's cold and damp and you get windburn. Now it's sustained 70s, 60s. You might get a few upper 50s overnight, but it's a windy day today, but these are hardened well. They're going to do fine. Got to start trimming a little bit. They look like crap, some of them, but don't worry about it. Just let them grow. And before we know it, folks, following along, remember this bucket. Maximus. So I have Maximus out here. He's checking for varmints. So he likes it out here. He loves these plants. So here we are. I just put these out, and these will stay here now, unless we get a really heavy windstorm or something like that. Then I'll bring them back in the greenhouse. But this is where the magic happens now, and these will grow. These will become huge plants before you know it. Something like this, which is how it started out with last year. Right, Max? You got it. Max is busy scoping the yard. He's doing this, what I call a sweep and clear. And here's a Saturn rings. Same thing. That's going to be a monster like this. So just a matter of time. Okay, here are those super leggy inky fingers, and I had like 5 or 6 of them. You can see this one's a little slower, but you can see the growth coming in. So I did trim the top a little bit because I did see that new growth coming in, and there were the growth that was up top was really, every time the wind hit, it was kind of like a sail, and it was beating up the plant. So I know they're doing well. We got the growth coming in on the bottom. So and I have those other inky fingers and the cuttings inside. So we're gonna let this continue, and believe me, it won't be long before we have a beautiful plant. Look at the growth coming in on this one. These are inky fingers as well. Look at all of that growth, and it's just no stopping it. I have a little sort of a jade Coleus, and I believe I don't think this is a Defiance. It's tough to say. It's almost like it looks more like a Defiance because of the sharp, pointy leaves. And this was one I grew from seed, so. But these will fill out really nicely. I'm excited to see how these fill out. Okay, and now for the star of our show, my Lord Voldemort's. Again, I had 3 rootings, and I may have one growing in the greenhouse. I don't think so, but you think at this point I would know what I have in there, but there's a few that I'm not sure about. They may be these Lord Voldemort's, but look at all that growth coming in. So I kept those 2 up top. All that growth coming in, and these were really long and a lot of stem and root ball below this. That's why I chose this pot, because it's a deep soil pot. And again, I just watered and fertilized these as well every 10 days or so. General purpose, Miracle Grow plant food. Don't use Bloom Booster. Don't use vegetable food. It's high. It's too high. It's too high in nutrients that the Coleus really don't need. Fruiting nutrients, phosphorus. They don't need that. So just get general purpose plant food that has more of the nitrogen, which is what it needs to grow. Okay, and you know, today I had planned on bringing everything out today and fertilizing, just bring everything out on the table, but for a number of reasons, I got sidetracked on some other things at home, so I'm going to do it tomorrow. And besides, the forecast today, which so far they're wrong completely. We've called for overcast, steady rain all day and thunderstorms, so I'm like, okay. But that's all right. Tomorrow's forecast is much better. I'm going to do this tomorrow, get an early start. I did work last night, so by the time I got up, situated and so forth, it was really around noon, 1 o'clock. And again, I always have plenty to do. So, but at this point, this is a lot of work to take all of these out and fertilize and trim. But that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. So everything's doing pretty well in here. I just checked everything now, and actually I'm actually happy because they really don't need to be watered. They need to be fed, but they don't really need to be watered. And unfortunately, that's the both. I really want to use the liquid fertilizer because it really gets into the roots and into the plant faster than the shake and feed, which gets fed every time you water. But the liquid or the water soluble plant food, this is the stuff I use. This stuff is really good. You mix it into the 2-gallon water container. As you can see here, you can almost see the blue tint in the water, and you feed, and it really feeds the roots and the soil. The plant really gets all of the nutrients. It's a much more efficient way to feed your Coleus or your plants. So tomorrow is a better day. We'll let them sit. Everything here does not need water. Everything looks really good. I didn't water yesterday either. These are very, very well watered. And it hasn't been very, very warm. Yesterday was overcast. It was damp. So it tended to not dry out in here. And it hasn't been terribly warm. Even today in here, it's only 80 degrees. So not a lot of drying going on. Now, once we kick into the summer and it's 90 out, we get those really hot 90-degree days, then it gets warm in here, as you can imagine, even with the fan going, and it evaporates much more quickly, especially these little pots. But hopefully by the time the real heavy summer weather comes in, I won't have quite as many Coleus each week to take care of. Okay, so as you can see, the cuttings are doing really well. Everything is starting to go as planned, as expected. Each year is a little different depending on the weather. Some warmer summers, some are cooler summers. This is so far has been it's not quite summer yet, technically. We still got another next week, June 21st, I believe, is the first day of summer. And then we'll start to hopefully kick into some real warm weather, and we'll get these started. Hoping, I have to check with the farmers. I'm going to do that once I'm finished here and see how things look for the farmers market starting on June 22nd. I just talked to the administrator of the farmers market, and he says, you know, not definitely sure if the 21st is going to be the first day of the farmers market. Of course, if you're not anywhere in New Jersey, this really doesn't matter. It's nothing, doesn't have any bearing for you. But if you do live in the New York, New Jersey area, and you were planning on coming down and meeting and maybe buying a Coleus, stay tuned. I will update on my Facebook page and my Instagram page whether or not Thursday, June 22nd will be the official start of the Bayhead Farmers Market. Again, that's Bayhead Farmers Market, 85 Bridge Avenue on the Manasquan Bank lawn, half a block to the beach. Wonderful downtown Bayhead, gift shops, restaurants, bakery, everything you need, boardwalk, rides, 5 minutes away. It's a perfect day trip to the New Jersey shore on a Thursday as well. So, all right, so stay tuned, everybody. Hope this helps you out. If you're not sure what to do with your cuttings, if you have yet to plant them, you can plant them in soil, or you can just keep them in water. So, all right, so thanks for following, everybody. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. More to come here at Jim's Coleus.